Hi, welcome to Liyab Virtual Career Fair 2021, a three-day online event that aims to facilitate interaction between Gen Z talent and organizations in the Philippines' current business landscape. Throughout the week, we have short talks, panel discussions, and mentor calls for you. But of course, our partner companies have also prepared activities inside their booths, so make sure you're registered to join. This event wouldn't have been possible without the following community partners. So thank you so much, everyone. And Leah Virtual Career Fair 2021 is co-presented by Pass a Job. Pass a Job is a long chain referral-based job platform that rewards individuals for connecting employers to the right candidates. Whether you're a job seeker looking for the next step of your career, an individual who would like to help friends find opportunities, or someone who wants to earn additional income, you'll find their platform useful. Welcome to a new way of finding and sharing jobs. They are present in the career fair for the entire 3 days of the event, so make sure to carve out time to participate in the different activities that they have planned. Pass a Job is the Virtual Career Fair's official job opportunities platform. So make sure that you use the invitation code LIABVCF when you create your account. The Virtual Career Fair is also organized in partnership with Texas Instruments. You can get to know Texas Instruments more through their booth, and you'll find that you can book an interview with them until tomorrow. So check out the event platform to learn how. This three-day event is also in partnership with Unilab. They have also prepared activities and talks for the entire 3 days of the event, so don't miss their booth on the Virtual Career Fair platform. And for this day only, you will get the chance to meet two startups. That's Automart.ph and Awesome Labs. Startups that are looking for Gen Z talent in the audience. So make sure to join their booths later at 4:30 on our event platform. Speaking of our event platform, if you haven't set up your account yet, make your way to the link on your screen to make sure that you get to meet our company partners and explore their booths. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Liyab Virtual Career Fair 2021. My name is Deirdre, CEO and founder of Liyab, and more importantly, your MC for the entire event. And we at Liyab have so much in store for you. So, again, there are short talks, panel discussions, mentor calls, and that doesn't even count the activities that our partner companies have prepared for you inside their booths. So make sure you check that out. Before we begin, I just wanted to give a few reminders. All the short talks and panel discussions from yesterday until tomorrow are done live. So feel free to comment any thoughts or questions you might have, and we'll try our best to address them if we have the time. I also encourage you to take notes or even screenshots. You can comment them or tweet them, tag us so we can reshare them later on. And if you would like a certificate for attending the online activities, take note of the certificate code for each event. As a registered participant, you will receive an email with a link to request for a certificate. These codes are our way of ensuring that we award certificates to those who really attended a specific talk or panel discussion. So, speaking of talks, our next one is an inspiring one organized with our co-presenter, Pass a Job. Our speaker is Senator Bam Aquino. Bam Aquino is a former senator and deputy minority leader for the Senate of the Philippines. He has chaired various Senate committees and has authored and sponsored several landmark laws, including the Philippine Competition Act, the Innovative Startup Act, the Free Access to Internet and Public Spaces Act, and the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, which made college in all state universities free for millions of Filipino students. Senator Aquino was also founder and president of Microventures Inc., a social enterprise that seeks to eliminate poverty through microfinance and new business development through its flagship Happy Noy program. He is currently the director and co-founder of Pass a Job. Everyone, let's welcome Senator Bam.
Hello, Deirdre. Magandang hapon. Thank you so much, Liyab, and of course, Deirdre, for organizing this virtual career fair. Sa lahat po ng mga nanonood at mga kaibigan po natin, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. I'm very happy to be here. Meron po akong mixing presentation tungkol sa Gen Z and about Gen Z, and of course, how employers can utilize our Gen Z talent even better. We based this presentation on a study from some American universities, but I think it still applies to many of us or to those who are Gen Z here. Ako po, I have to admit, I'm Gen X. Unfortunately, I'm not even a millennial. I'm a Gen X. My wife is a millennial, and our children will be Gen Z. No, a lot of the people here who are in this virtual career fair are Gen Z. You're those born after 1996, and studies show that even compared to millennials, Gen Zers already have different characteristics. So, what are these characteristics? So, let's begin. Firstly, Gen Z is technology dependent. I don't think anybody will argue with me on this point. It's not just everybody these days. So because ako, as a Gen Xer, yes, I am technology dependent, but I wasn't born into a world where you had a phone practically connected to your hand, or you're looking at your phone practically every 15 minutes or more. Yes, I was still born during an analog time where pag sinabi mo magkikita kayo sa Mega Mall at a certain time, kailangan talagang nandun ka kasi wala kayong choice, no? Now, of course, things are very different. The way that we interact is very different. The way that we look for jobs is very different. And later, we'll talk about pass a job as well. Pero yung makikita ho natin dito na unique talaga to Gen Z is that they were born already at a time when the internet was already on its full swing, where social media would soon take over largely most of our lives or most of the ways that we do business. And for a lot of Gen Zers, you're called digital natives, no? Hindi na kayo digital migrants like the Gen Xers and some of the millennials. You do belong to this world of technology. Second main characteristic is interconnectedness. This is cool. This is cool because a lot of Gen Zers feel that in one form or the other, you are more connected to your fellow human being. I don't even say fellow Filipino because a lot of the Gen Zers, they reach out, no, even beyond the natural borders that they have. So if it's somebody that you've met in a conference, somebody you've met on a dating site, somebody you've met on Facebook, that connection is practically the same as maybe if you had met them in person. That's very different for my age, by the way. Para sa aming Gen Xers and maybe even for some millennials, there's still some distance, no? If you compare the real world interaction and the interaction online. But for Gen Zers, it's practically at the same level already. If not, the online connection is even more real for in some cases. But this interconnectedness is also important in the sense that we feel a lot of kinship with each other, no? Malakas yung pagmamalasakit tsaka pakikiramdam natin sa isa't isa. And if there's one big issue for a lot of Gen Zers that may not have been such a big issue for your older brothers or your parents, it would be discrimination, no? Because of that interconnectedness, we don't like it when people are discriminated because they're different, because they have a different sexual preference, because they have a different skin tone, because they come from a different school, because they come from a different country. This interconnectedness, which we see in a lot of our Gen Zers, has created this, I would say, a more tolerant, more accepting, and more loving connectedness with our fellow human beings. Third characteristic, always working on a side hustle. It seems that Gen Zers don't want to be pegged down. And again, we go to a part which a lot of our employers sometimes have frustrations with, no? A lot of the employers, especially those which are quite traditional, will want you to be working at their job and that's it. No, they don't like it pag may sideline ka. They don't like it if you're doing something else, even if it's a charity work or even if it's volunteerism, even if it's not a business. A lot of companies don't like that. But a lot of companies now, if they do want to hire Gen Z talent, they do have to understand that to keep their talent engaged, no, sometimes it's not enough that they're just doing that one single thing. What some companies do is that they're doing different things within the same company just to keep people engaged. But what others naman do, and I think this is not a bad thing, I think it's a good thing, that they do allow a lot of their talent to also find other things to do and even support that. No, you'll find a lot of Gen Zers who work in the morning. Maybe they work in a bank, but in the afternoon they're actually running a spin cycle class. And on the side, they're also editing videos or they're also vlogging. No, so it's a lot of different things all at the same time, and that's very different for the Gen Xers and the generations even before me. Ang tinuturo sa amin ng bata, you only do one thing at a time. And I still agree that that's important, no? But for a lot of Gen Zers, it seems that you have that capacity to juggle things and find the synergy in all of those things together, no? To be doing different things, finding that synergy and being able to actually do better because you're able to do more things. Fourth is the desire to find and create meaning. Um, this is interesting, no? Because this carried over from the millennials. A lot of the Gen Xers my age, no, those born in the 90s, the ones who listen to alternative rock music and yun yung mga panahon ko 'di ba? Sa ang tawag ng asawa ko the angry person's music kasi puro angsty, no? Laging may angst, laging may problema sa mundo, may problema sa authority. That's the Gen X generation. But the Gen Z and the millennials actually are a little different, no? Yes, there's angst, but more than that, there's a desire to find and create meaning in whatever they do. Whether it's something, even if it's in their volunteer work, even if it's something that they do not necessarily as their main job, or even those who are doing it as their main job, they're trying to look for something more, no? And that's something we can find in the Gen Z. So if you look at Gen Z, there's that technology dependence, the interconnectedness, always looking for other things to do, that desire to find or create meaning. No, I hope the people listening are able to relate to what I'm talking about, or these topics are resonating with them, because this is the new generation. No? This is it. This is the workforce. And if you look at our country, which is a really young country, you will find that between the millennials and the Gen Z, you occupy the majority of the workforce. No, demographically, it is the millennials and the Gen Z who occupy our workforce. So therefore, with these different characteristics, it's also up to the employers, no, to be able to adjust. Um, because we do want to keep talent, employers do want to harness and nurture talent. They do want to keep talent at the same time. Do want to have an engaged workforce, no? Yung engagement is a new for a lot of the HR, no? If there are HR here listening, I know that engagement is a very important metric. How engaged a person is in their workplace also relates to how well they perform, no? So this engagement is also important. So what does this mean for employers? No? Next slide, please. Unang-una, employers need to embrace technology. The Gen Zers are actually more comfortable using technology, especially social media, video conferencing, a lot of the messaging apps. They're actually very adept at it. They're more comfortable using it. And in fact, many people nga have commented that with the pandemic and with all of us being on Zoom practically the whole day, a lot of the Gen Zers didn't even have much of an adjustment. No, they actually embraced all of these changes that have come to our workforce, where a lot of people, my generation and even older, have actually had to adjust in a great way. So if your company embraces technology, has ways that utilizes technology in innovative ways, in challenging ways probably, then your Gen Z workforce would be able to maximize this even further. Second is diversity acceptance. No? And again, this goes to our companies. No? Of course, our companies do have their own cultures, do have their own norms. But for a lot of Gen Zers, being able to be accepted for whatever it is, no, whoever you are, whatever you are, this is really important to our Gen Zers. And I also think it's a very Filipino characteristic, no. Mahalaga to sa atin na um, lahat tinatanggap, no, lahat ng ating pagkasarili tinatanggap, no. And this is important especially for employers who do want to keep the best talent when it comes to the Gen Zers. Third, and this is, I think, I cannot underscore this enough for employers, the focus on impact. What do I mean? Maybe for my generation, maybe for the generation before me, I can imagine my older brothers, no? Companies back then in the 80s, they were purely focused on profit. No, a company's job is to do well. You make money for your workers through their salary, you make money with the owners and with the shareholders. And that's it. When I was already in my 20s, nauso na yung social enterprise. And I was a social entrepreneur for a number of years. So, dinagdagan ng isa pang bottom line, no? It's not enough to have a profit bottom line. It's important that you also look at your social impact. Couple of years after, naging triple bottom line, which is your social impact, your profit, and of course, your effect on the environment, a positive effect on the environment. Triple bottom line na ngayon. And for a lot of Gen Zers, what your company means, what your company stands for is important for them. For a lot of maybe more traditional companies, maybe they're thinking ano lang to, masyado tong extra or masyado tong, this is something we just put on a pamphlet. But you know what? For Gen Zers and for the next generation of the market, this is important. What do you stand for as a company? Do you enable bad things in our society? How are you with the environment? How are you with your workers? How are you when you treat other partners and suppliers? Do you actually stand for something, or do you only stand for making a profit? And more, I think, as Gen Zers look for that impact in the companies that they apply for and that they stay in, more and more, I think the market and the consumers, because the Gen Zers are also your market, they're also their consumers, though. There, hopefully, there will be enough pressure on companies to also be more in our society, no? That they actually do more and be more. You see this in the States, no? You see this with sports companies supporting, for example, Black Lives Matter in America, no? Of course, on one hand, you could say they're so shrewd because Black Lives Matter is such an important battle cry for sports and for the Black community, that of course a lot of different sports have Black athletes, and maybe they're thinking about their bottom line. But if you really, really think about it, they're willing to risk a lot by standing for certain things, no? Companies standing for certain things. And more, I think, not only the Gen Zers who are working for these companies, but even the consumers are looking for this in different companies. So if you look at what this means for employers, you have the focus on technology, the focus on diversity and acceptance, and of course the focus on impact. No, such an important piece when it comes to harnessing Gen Zers. So next slide, please. So if you look at employers and employees, no, and trying to find the best connection, of course your Gen Zers have their new characteristics. Your employers, of course, are trying to keep the talent, but they have to find each other. And I'd like now to talk about pass a job, no. How do you find each other? There are many ways to find each other in life. Sabi nga nila 'di ba? Yung mga ibang I don't want to say hook up. Yung ibang mga nagka-match, 'di ba? It's done in different ways. Sometimes kasi may kakilala ka, pinakilala sa iyo, yung kaklase ko baka bagay sa iyo, maybe you'd like to go on a date. Sometimes it's a blind date, sometimes you meet somewhere. Sometimes you go on an app. Different ways to find the love of your life. Hopefully to find the job of your life will also be done through different ways. And one of those ways we're hoping is pass a job. We set up Pass a Job. Actually, it's been more than a year that we've been developing this app. It began when a number of young professionals led by Ten Mariano um, met with me in 2019, and they had this idea of trying to automate referral systems. And that came from their own experience na yung paraan ng paghahanap ng trabaho na nakita nilang pinakamabisa was not actually by just looking at job boards, but through important referrals that people in different industries are able to do. And oftentimes, kasabay ng referral na yon is also that intention to help or support your friends, to help or support your colleagues who are looking for other jobs or looking for better jobs as well. So Pass a Job was created. We spent over a year working on it, and we launched it just a couple of weeks ago. And we're here sponsoring the Liyab Virtual Career Fair because not only because we're fans of Liyab, but because we're hoping that we can introduce a new way of looking for work and looking for jobs. Of course, we'll always have career fairs, which are really cool and really important. But after the career fairs are done, we're hoping that there can be applications like Pass a Job that can support our Gen Zers who are looking for that job that can help them with their own concerns, with their family's concerns, and help them find the job that best fits them. When I was in the Senate, we would focus on bills and laws that open doors, no? That open doors for our countrymen. My first law was, of course, the Go Negosyo Act, which supported our micro, small, and medium enterprises with different programs, no, to be able to get them financing, to be able to get them market linkage and the right mentorship. And that's already been a law for over 5 years. It's helped thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs be able to get that step up or to get that help to go to the next level of sustainability. Another law that we passed is the Free College Act, which of course made state universities and colleges free for a lot of young people. Again, we saw that this was a hurdle for people to find the jobs that they wanted because hindi sila makapag-graduate because of the cost of education, and therefore they couldn't get the degree which would be the key to getting a better paying job that they had wanted. No, so if you look at all of these things that I did when I was still in the Senate, it was trying to unlock, trying to make things easier for people, trying to unlock these obstacles that stopped us from getting to where we wanted to be. And Pass a Job is in the same spirit. No, it tries to automate helping you or helping your friend get a job. And the best part about it is, if you're able to make a match, kung matchmaker ka, kung ikaw yung kupido ng kaibigan mo at ng kanyang hinahanap na kumpanya, the referral fee is shared across all of the referrers. So if you're the only one who referred your friend and your friend was actually accepted to the company, you get the referral fee, all of it. No, you get all of the referral fee. If you pass it to a friend who passed it to a friend who eventually passed it to a friend and therefore tatlo kayo, then the referral fee is divided by 3. No, for example, for some IT jobs on the app now, the referral fee goes as high as 8,000 pesos, so not a small amount of money. And in fact, I can even imagine that you could create a new type of gig, no, which is you just keep on referring and referring and referring your classmates, friends, family members, and colleagues to be able to get those matches and earn on the side. No, so it goes back to the Gen Z mentality of having a side gig, always having a side gig available to you. So we launched this. Please do download the app. Please see if there's something there that's for you. There's over 400 jobs that are currently listed. And apart from that, if there's nothing for you now, maybe in a couple of weeks, there's something for you because we're always signing up new employers. Or if you find something na bagay, no, sa mga kaibigan mo, sa mga minamahal nyo sa buhay, please don't hesitate to ipasa yung job opening na yan sa kanila. And who knows, maybe if they get accepted, you could also get rewarded for that. Um, we put this up because we found that there were problems that needed to be solved. No? And we've always said that Filipinos are natural problem solvers. When we put up Pass a Job, we saw that there was a problem in terms of connecting our employers and our employees, that there was a referral system that was very informal but very effective that needed to be automated and supported even more. Those laws that I talked about, making college free, supporting our SMEs, and so on and so forth, para sa akin, it was really looking for these problems that needed to be solved, finding ways to be able to address these concerns, pushing levers that could open up these obstacles or take away these obstacles from our that our fellow Filipinos were experiencing. These days during a pandemic, no, we're again called to be problem solvers, no. Of course, we've all heard of the community pantry where fellow Filipinos are finding ways to support each other. No, nagtutulungan tayo to be able to help each other. Um, for the people who put up Pass a Job, for the people listening here, I hope we take that spirit to heart. No, let's find ways to help each other. For the Gen Zers out there, let's find ways to help each other. I think that aspect of being a problem solver, bagay na bagay rin yan sa mga Gen Zers natin. Because at the end of the day, I believe problem solving is in the DNA of every Filipino. And every Gen Zer out there looking for meaning, looking for impact, doing a side hustle, at the end of the day, has that capacity to really try to solve our problems. Whether it's within companies or setting up your own startups and companies, we have it in us to be able to solve these issues that have plagued our country for so long. And now that we're in a pandemic ngayon na, nasa mahirap na kalagayan yung ating bansa, everyone is really called to this, no? And for the employers and employees out there, Pass a Job was our attempt to try to solve one of these problems that we've seen throughout the years, no? That gap between our employers and employees. And hopefully, this innovative long chain referral system will be one of those solutions that can benefit a lot of people. So I'm ending there. Maraming salamat. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And of course, thank you to Deirdre and Liyab, no, for inviting me today. Maraming salamat.
All right. Thank you so much, Senator Bam, for that talk. Actually, there are so many points you said that I definitely agree with. We've noticed it and observed it within our own community of almost 8,000 learners in Liyab. And really, the community that we try to foster there is supportive. We exchange job opportunities with each other. We exchange our stories and tips for each other. And that's really our own version of Bayanihan even. So given that we have an app like Pass a Job that makes it easier to participate in that sort of bayanihan where we get to share opportunities with each other and in a way kahit medyo selfish I help ourselves because of the referral fee. It's still something the little something that we can do especially during this time to help uplift each other. So thank you so much for that talk, Senator Bam.
Thank you. Thank you, Deirdre, and thank you to Liab and everyone listening. Magandang araw.
All right. Thank you, Senator. And now, the best part is that Pasa Job actually has more to offer in their booth on our event platform. So, their next talk is called Asking Questions You're Afraid to Ask HR with Leo Kelor, HR Director of Upskill Manila. So, make your way to our event platform, and that's where the fun begins. You get to meet all of our different partner companies there. They have talks prepared for you, they have activities prepared for you. You'll be able to browse company booths and job opportunities on Pass a Job from our event platform. So you should be looking at the link on the screen, but the link is also in this video description. So set up your account and join in on the fun there. This is not goodbye. By the way, we'll be back later at 6 p.m. for our panel discussion on thriving industries. Sorry, not thriving industries. That was yesterday. On developing skills for the future of work. So make sure to tune in again later at 6 p.m. and I'll see you.